For 20 whole years, I've been collecting botanical books, some of them centuries old. Old European herbals, Chinese medicine. I've studied the works of Maria Trebin and medieval plant lore. I've searched through hundreds of pages. Lion's mane, this mushroom that modern science calls a game changer for memory, is nowhere in any of them. Not in the Chinese medicine book I own. Not in the 18th century European herbals. Nobody knew about it. And yet today, research suggests lion's mane can stimulate nerve growth factor, a protein that's essentially fertilizer for your brain cells. One study showed neurites, the wires connecting your neurons, doubling in length within hours. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Mind Over Age. After 5 years of living fog-free and digging through both ancient texts and modern research, I've identified 5 critical mistakes women over 50 make with this mushroom. Mistakes that waste your money, ruin your results, or even put your health at risk. So, let's get into the why. Starting with the one almost everyone makes. Mistake number 1. It's not caffeine. How many times have you taken a supplement, waited 20 minutes, felt nothing, and gave up? Lion's mane is not caffeine. It has a cumulative effect. It works quietly, building what I call neural infrastructure. In a prominent 16-week clinical trial, participants took lion's mane daily. So when did the peak results actually show up? At the very end of those 16 weeks, not in week 1, not in the first month. Think of acetylcholine, the brain chemical responsible for memory and learning, as a garden. You don't plant seeds today and harvest vegetables tomorrow. You water it. You wait. You let the roots grow deep. Lion's mane works the same way. It stimulates nerve growth factor, NGF, which is essentially fertilizer for your brain cells. But fertilization takes time. So give it at least 4 to 6 weeks of consistent daily use. Not 20 minutes. Mistake number 2. Extract versus powder, the dosage disaster. This one made me angry when I discovered it. There are 2 forms, standardized extract and pure powder. But their dosages are completely different. For extract, clinical studies use 750 to 1,000 milligrams per day. But pure powder is not concentrated, so you need 2,000 to 3,200 milligrams. Almost triple. If you buy powder and take just a tiny scoop, you're getting almost nothing. Your brain cells are starving. And here's something critical. The best preparations combine both erinacines from the mycelium and herisinones from the fruiting body. Both fertilizers working together. Look for a product that clearly states it contains both. Mistake number 3, the lost wisdom. This is where it gets personal, and it brings us back to those old books. For centuries, Buddhist monks and traditional healers in Japan and China used lion's mane, called yamabushitake, for focus during meditation and for what they called nerves. The mistake is assuming that because it's missing from Western tradition, it's just hype. But it entered Western science through a different door. The first Japanese studies in the 1990s identified erinacines and herisinones. From there, the research exploded. Wisdom doesn't always arrive in the language you expect. But there's a 4th mistake, and this one could undo all your progress. Mistake number 4, the I feel better, I'll stop trap. This one breaks my heart. You take lion's mane for 8 weeks. You're consistent. And then, that beautiful moment. You remember where you put your keys. You don't lose your train of thought mid-sentence. The fog is lifting. I call this the lights turning on moment. And then you stop. In that same 16-week study, after participants stopped, their cognitive performance returned to baseline in just 4 weeks. 4 weeks. And the neural infrastructure you built? It starts fading without consistent fertilizer. This is not a cure. Nothing permanently rewires your brain after you quit. Consistency is everything. Mistake number 5. When lion's mane can hurt you. As always, I want to be honest and keep you safe. Lion's mane is generally very safe, but there are specific situations where it can be dangerous. Blood thinners. Lion's mane can slow blood clotting. If you're on aspirin or warfarin, do not combine them without speaking to your doctor. Diabetes medication. It can lower blood glucose. If you're on insulin, your blood sugar could drop dangerously low. Surgery. Must be stopped at least 2 weeks before any procedure because of the blood clotting effect. Mushroom allergies. If you've ever reacted to any mushroom with hives or shortness of breath, do not take lion's mane. Pregnancy and breastfeeding. Not enough safety data, so avoidance is recommended. This is not to scare you. Lion's mane has genuinely changed lives, including mine. But knowledge is power. And I want to leave you with something personal. When I first started experiencing brain fog during perimenopause, I was terrified. I walked into rooms and forgot why. I lost words mid-sentence. I felt like I was watching myself from behind a thick, gray window. And then I started searching. Through my books. Through research papers. Through my own body, testing, observing, listening. 5 years later, I can tell you this. The fog can lift. It's not inevitable. It's not just aging. It's not something you have to accept. Lion's mane was one piece of the puzzle, but only because I used it correctly. The right dose. The right form. The right expectations. The right patience. And remember, the active compounds in lion's mane are better absorbed when they have a carrier. Taking it on a completely empty stomach with just water is a mistake. After 20 years of research, I've learned to pair my smart mushroom with a healthy fat, like a teaspoon of coconut oil or a handful of walnuts. This lubricates the path for the erinacines to reach your brain cells faster. If this video helped you, please hit that like button and subscribe to Mind Over Age. It helps more than you know, and it tells YouTube that this information matters. Also, comment below. Have you tried lion's mane? What was your experience, good or bad? I read every single comment, and your story might help another woman here. But I am not a doctor. Nothing in this video is intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any condition. Always consult your healthcare provider before adding any mushroom or supplement to your routine. Your health is personal, and so is your journey. Building your neural pathways from the inside is vital, but if your environment is still a digital storm, you are fighting an uphill battle. You cannot rewire your mind if you are sabotaging your sleep. If you're ready to stop the guessing game, start with my free guide. You're Not Losing Your Mind, a simple night reset. It is the foundation that allows lion's mane to do its best work. You can find the link right below. Thank you for being here in my calm corner. Try this smart mushroom, be patient with your progress, and as always, be kind to your mind, be well, and I'll see you in the next video.